America, my name is Osei-Frimpong, and you're watching The Black Athenians. And today we're going to talk about a common practice in these United States where white people play black people to put down other black people. Very common. Some people call it tokenization. But there was a fantastic, and the struggle and the plight of black people. There was a fantastic article in, I want to say, The Atlantic last week, and can you get me the graphic? And it was about one of these kids, you hear about him every year around college admissions times, where he got into all these Ivy League schools. And so the media found him and said, "You're a black man from the hood who got into all of these Ivy League schools. You must be fantastic. You must have tried, whereas everyone else didn't. So tell us how much you tried, whereas everyone else didn't." And he's like, "Look, my brother's in jail, and he's just as smart as I am. That choice is just bad luck." And they didn't like that. So they wanted to talk about him. But he wrote an article talking about his brother and how nobody really cared about the fact that his brother was in jail. His brother was 2 years older. And everyone wanted to talk about how he beat the odds. It's like celebrating the winner of the Hunger Games. So this is a black kid who was being used, because we use black kids all the time, against black masses. We're going to go into the history of that, and we're going to do all of that after Matthew hits the beat. Go ahead and give it to me.
To the beat, y'all.
Yeah. Sound good to me. Never change the ways for the world or the government. If I was the president, then I would state facts. You leave it up to me, I paint the White House black and ain't no future in your front.
Yeah, someone mentioned that you really can't have a conversation with white people without, as a black person, without one of them going, "Well, you know, I know this black person who told me that the problem is black people." White people love saying that. They know that one person. Like, I can give you a football field full of black people who say the problem is white people, but you find one Negro who says the problem is black people, but you'll be like, "I know that one guy." Yeah.
I just want to kind of remind white women that at one point that was Bill Cosby y'all kept reposting about his respectability politics.
Yeah, pull up their pants.
Pull up their pants.
No. You didn't. He was talking about Spanish Fly the whole time. You didn't care. As long as he was putting down black people, you'll be like, "Well, that's just him talking about pound cake." No, but
Make that barbecue sauce episode of the Cosby's.
Yeah, I saw that
creepy.
real dicey. But yeah, so we'll find there's a market, and a lot of black people are striving to be that black person who's paid to put down black people and blame black people. I'm not one of them, and I made a decision a long time ago, because there is a market for, if you're willing to be a black person who is willing to blame black people, you can find a job doing that. That is actually that might be the number one industry of black people in America.
Oh yeah.
Besides, if you're not cleaning stuff or picking stuff, your job is to keep other black people away from their justice claims. You can call it being a DA, you can call it being a lawyer, you can call it being a cop, you can call it being anything.
A reporter.
But you're a reporter. But your real job is to keep other black people in line. I think that's the job of most black people who have a good job in the United States, of a lot of black people who have a good job in the United States, or at least look the other way.
Some of them look right at you as it happens, and
they
look
like,
at you
"Ooh,
like,
it's too bad for
"Hey,
you."
for you."
I'm just glad that's not me. That's too bad for you. Oof. And they might say in private, "Oh, that wasn't right."
Oh, they're the first ones to meet you at your house
private.
once they get off the clock. Like,
"Oh, that wasn't right. What they did to you.
What they did to you was wrong."
What
And
they did
then
to
walking
you.
you through the whole office.
That was awful.
That was horrible.
That was awful.
Meanwhile,
They
he's the
stood
person.
there, didn't say anything.
Meanwhile, he's the person who orchestrated everything.
Oh, yeah. They orchestrated the whole thing.
And by the
For
way,
a little
Matthew,
bit of a pat on the back.
the chat is very happy to see you in the shot.
Yeah. Family people need to know Matthew. Oh. So, by the way, if you support Matthew getting paid, now you know what he looks like, go ahead and go to the Funky Academic and contribute 10, 15, or $50 a month. That would be fantastic. Or just give a one-time enormous donation. Or you could light me up in Super Chat. All of that goes to pay what I pay Matthew every month, and rent, which, you know, I'd like to give him more money. But
so all y'all out there who keep talking about you want Matthew to marry your granddaughter.
Yes. And he's
you want to
Matthew's
make
a
sure
lovely
he
man.
gets well paid.
Right. So yeah, thank you. Thank you all the continuing supporters. And please tell your friends to support and send this video all around because the people need to know about tokens and the way black people are weaponized against black people. And you don't want your son and daughter. I know you think you want your son or daughter or friend to be a token, but that's not a good life. That's no way to live. That's no way to live. Because think about all the high profile tokens. You got Oprah. You know, she's married to Stedman, but she's looking for love in all the wrong places. Condoleezza Rice, not married. Shonda Rhimes.
Condoleezza has managed to be less token than even Oprah or Chandra
Republican
lately.
tokens are
like,
different.
Condoleezza's kind of just like, I'm done. I did my bit. I got my check.
Yeah.
Disappeared.
I mean, even tokens in fiction don't do so hot because it's even hard to fictionalize a functional token. That's why the lady from Scandal, Olivia Pope, never got married because it would have been unbelievable. We could imagine her like solving the world's problem as like the president's side chick, but her actually with a functional black man is like, this is fantasy now. We might as well give her a unicorn and a magic sword.
Let me tell you, there was a character on Scandal that was there to fix things. Yeah. It was Mama Pope, but she was declared a terrorist.
So like we can't even have tokens in fiction do well because it's just too unbelievable. Because to be a token, you have to like pretty much, and it's not just the color of your skin. That doesn't make you a token. Because a lot of black tokens get hired as tokens, and then they're too black, and they get let go because they didn't know their job. Apparently, Melissa Harris Perry. Give me Melissa Harris Perry. Melissa Harris Perry was hired for a specific job, and that was to be the kind of black person who was not too black. And then it turns out she was too black, and they let her go. And so the mainstream media is gonna find 4 other Negroes who know what their job is. Give me the 4 other black people.
Roland Martin in there?
No. Roland Martin. Now these 4, you got them?
Who?
It's Bakari Sellers, April Ryan, and
that is April Ryan.
Angela Rye, and Gilliam, the guy who ran for governor. You go from going to governor to tap dancing for mainstream. Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good check. He's got to feed his family too, but like I don't know. Were you ever really about that fight anyway? So notice that black people, none of those black people on that screen right there are going to fight for you. They're not there to fight for you. They're there to fight for the brunch crowd. Angela Rye was funny because she actually said, well, you know, black people aren't poor because I know black people and we all go to brunch and it's only 30% who are in poverty. First of all, if 30% are in poverty, 30% are actually in poverty. That means poverty adjacent is everybody else. Yeah. That means black people who are living around black people are living around poverty. White people living around white people, not necessarily. You can go through many white neighborhoods and not see a poor person, not see poverty.
In fact, it's kind of the opposite. 1 in 7 white people are millionaires.
Yeah, 1 in 7 white. It's actually hard to go to. Honestly, it's hard to get a congregation of white people together and not find a millionaire. It's a job. It's in my circles. Like you go to any white church, there'll be a few millionaires there. I can go to many black churches and maybe. Because it's 1 in 45 black people is a millionaire. 1 in 7 white people is a millionaire. So you go to any white institution, insofar as an institution, and there are people in it. And I mean, even like Cracker Barrel. Like you go to Cracker Barrel, you'll find a black millionaire. If you go to Ribs and Bibs, or that's in Chicago, I'm trying to think of the blackest place. And you go to Popeyes, you might not find a millionaire in the entire place, except the owner of Popeyes, who's going to be white.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but if I go to a Chick-fil-A, one of the people there is going, especially if I include the people in the drive-thru, is going to be a millionaire.
And let's be clear, Chick-fil-A staff drive Land Rovers.
Right. And honestly, if I go to Chick-fil-A, the parents of one of the people taking my orders might be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Like, so like that's just how wealth happens. So these people who are paid to tell you that there is no black America and there is no white America, no, first give me a graph that says that's not the truth. There is a black America and there's a white America. The white America is the blue line arcing up, and the black America is the red line arcing down. Black America is at median household wealth, $1,700 and going down. White America is at $116 and going up. Those are households. Like there is a black America and the white America. Not only are they distinct, but like they're arcing in different directions.
They were talking about the future where there won't be a black America.
Right. All right. Well, I know one Negro who got paid very good money for saying there is no black America and there's no white America. Do you have a clip? Yep. Yeah, give it to me.
Well, I say to them tonight, there is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America. There is not a black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America. There's the United States of America. Well,
that was a lie. Give me the graph again. Give me the graph again. Do you see one purple line in this graph? Do you see a purple line?
It wasn't even just a lie. It was a group of lies. Like
it was a series of lies. Like not only is there a
lie.
distinction, they're going the opposite ways. I don't know. There is no shared fate.
Yeah.
And they're going the opposite ways, which means the blue line might be going up because the red line is going down. Blue lines matter. Someone just said blue lines matter. Yeah, that's America. America is one where blue lines matter and white lines just get erased. We just get erased. So there are black people used to, and he got good money. He just bought a $15 million mansion. That's fine. But he got that money for being the kind of black guy who lies to white people about America and who lies to black people about their situation as black people. That's what he was paid for. You think he was paid for being a commander-in-chief
I'm just curious
being
how
executive? No, he was paid to control Negroes.
I'm just wondering how much, he just bought a $15 million house. He was concerned about people having their hands out for his library. Yeah. Clearly, he has some extra money lying around. Yeah. So maybe he could hand out some money to that community where he was known as a community organizer.
Yeah, this is a community organizer, Obama, who, when asked for a community benefits agreement for his library so that to make sure that people weren't displaced, as, those people are usually us, and that some of us, at least a few of the contractors who are building a, $120 million edifice, like at least some of those contractors were black.
We hope.
Like there's some sort of community benefits agreement. He's like, no, if I sign a community benefits agreement, every Negro is going to have their hand out looking for a cut. Yes. Yes, you're all right. Every black person's going to want a job. Because in America, it's a market society, you should have a job. And if $120 million is going to be spent doing something, at least some of that in a city that's a third black should go to black people and not just for picking up stuff. Although we'll take that job too.
How do you even form your lips to say, I don't want to give the money because Negroes will want jobs?
They'll have their hand out. Yes, we will look for a contractor job. And I'll be honest, I'm going to want it as much as you pay the Irish contractor. Or something close.
You can be a little higher.
You can be a little, I want something, I want as much as you're going to pay some cousin of some daily. Yeah, I go to
those contracts just arrive in their mail.
No. You go to a planning commission meeting, as I've gone to one. Like you'll see a line of contractors looking to get their cut. You go to a city planning commission meeting or a city council meeting, you'll see a line of contractors there to get paid, and with many zeros.
And what will you not see among those contractors?
Black ones. No. So yes, I want a black contractor to get in line in front, and I want them to jump into the front of the line to get one of those fat city contracts. And Marion Barry did it, and that's why he could also do cocaine off the belly of a stripper and get reelected, because he delivered black contractors jobs. Thank you, Marion Barry.
Marion Barry made sure that every black person in D.C., when it still had black people, had a job.
And for that,
And
we
for
didn't
that,
care.
you'll notice he's no longer around. The black people have been moved out.
Yes. When Marion Barry got into the office, there were 3% of contractors in DC were black. When he left, 47% of DC contractors were black.
Now, if we can overlook what other people are doing in the Oval Office, I don't care. The man did his job.
The man did his job, and he got caught.
Stressed.
He got
Hard life. He was the mayor of the District of Columbia during the crack epidemic. I mean, the man had
he
a
was
hard life.
self-medicating.
Yeah.
While making sure black people got jobs. Let the man self-medicate.
And let me
I'll
tell
strip
you,
his belly. I don't know.
what people don't understand about DC is DC only got self-rule in 1978. Before that, Congress
Decided
everything.
Yeah.
Marion Barry got in office and immediately put black people to work.
And they were grateful.
Yes.
They did not care about his other habits. The FBI might have, because he said he was set up. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. I also don't care.
Let me be very clear as a
Marion Barry's a
Washingtonian by
hero.
birth.
Yes.
As I looked at that video, all I saw was, okay, I'm not sure what your point is. We have jobs.
I don't.
How about y'all get out that man business? He doing his job.
Get out of bad business. Let him recreate.
Like, shoot, have y'all seen what it's like just living in D.C.? This man has to run it.
Yeah.
Got to argue with Congress.
So that was an example of a black man who actually did his job by black people. And, another one who did his job by black people was Martin Luther King. And he had some great things to say about this. Do you have the quote? The quote? So we're going to put a quote from, it's not Where We Go From Here. It's Why Can't We Wait? It is a quote from Why Can't We Wait that Matthew's tracking down. I might have Matthew read it. Yeah. Matthew, you mind?
The Negro wanted to feel pride in his race. With tokenism, the solution was simple. If all 20 million Negroes would keep looking at Ralph Bunchy, the one man in so exalted a post would generate a volume of pride that it could be cut into portions and served to everyone. A judge here and a judge there, an executive behind a polished desk and a carpeted office, a high government administrator with a toehold and a cabinet post. One student on a Mississippi University lofted there by an army. 3 Negro children admitted to a whole high school system of a major city. All these were tokens used to obscure the persisting reality of segregation and discrimination. For a decade, the hard struggles had culminated in limited gains, which, if they advanced at all, crawled sluggishly forward. Schools, jobs, housing, voting rights, and political positions. In each of these areas, manipulation with tokenism was the rule.
All right, very good. And so that's just great. If we can exalt one guy, back then it was Ralph Bunchy. For us, it was Barack Obama. You can get rid of the quote now. But for us, it was Barack Obama. If we can exalt one guy and give everybody a family photo, it's like exalting everybody. Right? So we hire Barack Obama, give everyone a picture of Barack Obama, and it's like we've hired everyone. Except, look at that number. Give me the graph. It turns out the math doesn't work out that way.
I was about to say, Barack did not give me a single part of my cut.
No. That picture doesn't pay the bills. That family photo does not pay the bills. But we were like, well, we got Barack. No, Barack got Barack. Barack got paid.
Michelle got Barack.
Michelle got Barack. Michelle got Barack.
The rest of us are like, oh.
Yeah. So either we were all working for Michelle, or like one family got paid out of that. And it wasn't anybody you know. So that's a problem. Tokenism is actually dangerous. And it's not just they want you to be black. They needed the right kind of black. They needed the right kind of black who blames black people. And that's the problem. Well, that's one of the problems.
Grand example.
What?
Jay-Z's recent
Jay-Z.
interview.
They don't want Kaepernick black. They want Jay-Z black. Because it's a different kind of black. Explain the difference.
Here's what's really interesting about this situation. So, Jay is taking on this new position, and he immediately starts defending police officers. I like to look at some early Jay-Z albums and go, where was that Jay-Z when he was making the money? Oh, now he has the money. He's defending. But the difference is
the ones who want to put him in jail when he was slinging rock.
Yeah. And it was funny because Eric Gardner Jr., after reading Jay-Z's open letter, said the following: I grew up loving Jay-Z. I have nothing but respect for him, but what he said was hurtful. It sounded like he was making excuses for police. My father wasn't rude. He didn't say F you. He said, I can't breathe 11 times. How do you, and like, you know, I'm still working on the Army, learning to blame black people last. Yeah. But I look at Jay and go, bro, you didn't need another meal.
You didn't exactly.
Like,
he's just,
you didn't do this because you wanted
extra.
a meal.
This is extra.
You did this to be an owner.
Right. Nah, to be an owner.
Yeah.
Because there's honestly some things you can't buy.
Yes.
And there's some things that white people control that you can't buy. They won't let you buy. They didn't, like, who else? It's hard to get an NFL team. They're not just on the market. Forcing white people to sell things they don't want to sell is another struggle that we could talk about in a whole other show, because one of the problems in a lot of the municipalities is that all the good land is owned by white people, so that even if you have money, you can't buy.
Here's a great
because you have to force them to sell. That's the thing with NFL teams. They aren't for sale, and the owners weren't selling unless you do what they want you to do, which is blame black people. And I think they even, like, Donald Trump tried to buy an NFL team. They thought he was too uncouth or something.
Oh, yes. They ran Donald Trump out. And
they're like, Jay-Z will let you buy, we'll let you be an owner, but, you know, we're going to put you to work.
Let's see how much of a percentage owner he really is.
He didn't own that much of the Nets, right? His job was moving black people out of Brooklyn.
No, yeah, literally.
Like, your job is to broom black people out, move them to Jersey or whatever, and we'll give you like 0.5% or something.
And here's a great example. I was just thinking locally. So we lost 4 units in our housing, so that they could build that nice police station over there. They want eminent domain, a tree that owns itself, to pave a road.
But we're
I'm just saying.
Yeah, right.
We have a tree locally that is the grandson of the original tree, and we have a whole cobblestone road because
that tree's got more property than whole families.
Yeah. He's got more property than I do.
Because the tree owns itself. Yeah. And apparently it's a plot of land. Do you own a plot of land?
No. And if I did, they'd take it from me if they decided they wanted to build something there. The tree got rights.
The tree... that tree's got more property
and rights.
And right. That's right. Nobody can
touch that tree. We all know better.
You go to jail if you vandalize that tree. You can vandalize me. Just look at Woozy.
Hit that tree with a car if you wanna.
Yeah, you'll go to jail for hitting the tree. But if you hit a random
black
Negro,
man, you get $250,000 from the city and a $50,000 GoFundMe.
Yeah. So I don't know. We had a problem last year with cops just running over random black people because they felt like it. Because they were too fast.
In multiple cities.
It was
the same cop.
It was all too fast.
They're
running too fast. I just had to bump him a little bit.
They had to move him to where there weren't black people so he wouldn't run anyone over. He works in Oconee County now.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, they moved him. He left Oglethorpe to go to Oconee. I figured there were no black people there. He can't hit anybody with a car.
Yeah, all right. So anyway, there are black people who get paid to control black people. Don't let that be you. And get paid to used as a symbol to control black people. Do not let that be you. And I'm not going to let that be me. And don't let that be your kids. You think that's a safe way to win? That's not winning. That's not winning. That's something else. Like, Oprah's not winning. Condoleezza Rice's not winning. Shonda Rhimes isn't winning.
No.
They're just wealthy, but that's not winning. Winning is a community, being a member of a black community, or a member of a community with a lot of black people, and everybody's doing fine. It's not winning when either you can't go home again. Because look at even what's his name, Charlemagne the God. He's from Moncks Corner. Moncks Corner is a little town in South Carolina. I suspect it's like Lake City, where my mom's from, South Carolina. A little black town with no money. He can't go back. He can't go back.
Damn city.
If he can't go back, if he goes back, every step he takes is going to be someone. I got an idea for a business. So you give me $20 million. You give me $20,000. No, he can't go back. He can't go back. And now he's in New York, surrounded by a bunch of sharks. Everyone's looking in his pocket in a different way. So that's not freedom. That's not freedom. Either around white sharks or like black people trying to hustle. And that's not freedom. What we want is everyone to have a good job at a fair wage or own a business or whatever, but everyone to be doing fine. That's freedom, because then you can actually be with people and have a real relationship with people without people looking at your pocket or without yourself looking at other people's pockets.
Yeah, I will say in my younger days, I hung out with the St. Simon's crew. And St. Simon's is not a poor area at all in the state of Georgia. And so literally, like, my friends would want to go do something. And I'm like, I don't have the money. Of course, they just shelled it out like, oh, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
We were talking about...
After about $120,000, money's just extra. Yeah. After $120,000 a year, if you, like money's just, like, white people have a hard time spending money in meaningful ways. So they have to give it to people. Yeah.
I had a great discussion with someone yesterday about the price of parking during a football game at the University of Georgia. And they were like, oh yeah, for where that is, I'd pay $100 to park there so I didn't have to walk as far. And all I could think was, I need a parking lot.
Yeah. You need a parking lot. But you would have had to own property 40 years ago to get a parking lot around. So, I'm going to talk a little bit. My friend went to a Lizzo concert. I didn't know anything about Lizzo. I don't know anything. I know very little about Lizzo. Like, who is this Lizzo? So I looked at an interview. I like her.
She's great.
She's great. She's great. She's wonderful. That's a free Negro right there.
Yes.
Lizzo's a free Negro. And then you see her. So my friend had a cell phone. My friend's white. My friend had a cell phone video of herself at a Lizzo concert. All white people at a Lizzo concert, but Lizzo's still free. She's talking the way she's talking, and they're paying $120 a ticket, and it was all white people at that Lizzo concert. I don't think that got in their way. So if you're gonna be black that way, okay?
Yeah, I said last week, Paul Mooney stood in a room full of white people that paid to be told about themselves, and he never laughed. Like, Paul Mooney was drinking and
So I'm gonna talk about this more crap.
He's like, I'm gonna talk about this white woman right here. Look at her, like she owned this whole place. He never laughed. I don't think Paul Mooney was kidding one time. He just came out on stage drunk and told people about themselves, and they paid for it.
Yeah,
these are new life goals.
It's nice to have aspirations.
Yes.
We just had to create a market for that. But no, so I guess I don't know. Lizzo's not that. I appreciate Lizzo.
Yes.
Because one, she gives great interviews. Like she was charming. She was witty and still cursing up a storm, but charming and funny. That was a free Negro.
Yes.
And I loved all of that. So then I went back and said who's this Lizzo person? I hope she does. Hope you do very well in life, Lizzo.
I won't lie. I think it was a live performance of hers was how I got introduced to her. And one, she's a big girl who just owns it.
She's a big girl.
She ain't worried. She look how this rolls.
I eats when I eat.
Yeah, look how this butt rolls. It just continues to roll. Look, you like that, see? It's good. And I mean, she's really just, her interviews are hilarious.
I know.
I've seen her walk away from people interviewing her when they ask her a dumb question. She's like, it just walks away. She doesn't have time for other people's BS.
I love to see that emancipation. I appreciate that.
So
She's
much.
Charming. So I hope she has a lovely long career, and after this she gets her own show.
Yeah.
I think she deserves it. I think she could hold one, and not just on YouTube. I'm talking about a place where people watch. Matthew, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just like to point out that a lot of cases tokens are actually not doing well at all because you're poverty adjacent to a lot of black people. So the wealth that you have is going to be consumed by those black people. So really, you might make 100,000, but you're gonna have 15,000 at the end of the day.
Right. And your liability is just one phone call away because someone could always need something. And you're the one everyone knows to call to. You got an aunt when changed her number, right? No.
I mean,
she didn't change her number.
She didn't change her number, but she doesn't answer the phone for everybody. I mean,
you're poverty adjacent.
We were just talking about this.
She doesn't answer the phone.
My baby brother is 20 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know. I said something about my dad having 13 siblings, and he paused. He's like, really? Because I only know Aunt Regina.
Because she's the one with the check.
I was like,
Because in a jam, the other two can't do nothing for you because they have a business. But Aunt Regina's got some extra.
Yeah.
Like 13 brothers and sisters. Like not all of them are doing well. In fact, one is.
No.
We
We got a total of 3, but we live in PG County, so
So that's the one place where there's black middle class.
However, let's point out Great County, Mecca of black wealth, poorest county surrounding the District of Columbia.
You got to understand that PG County is the most middle class black county in the nation.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in Baldwin Hills. It was supposed to be like California's version, but my mom was a nurse. And you go there now, it's not particularly black. It's Latino. Or a lot of white people moved in. Like
PG still black.
PG still black. It's the most middle class black county that's legitimately black in the nation. There's still white people who do not go to PG County.
Oh yeah, no,
No.
White people from the DC area will talk about PG County like they're talking about Anacostia in Southeast DC. Like it is amazing.
But that's black middle class. So you have to understand that that's just our situation. Lying about it will not change it. The goal is community uplift. That means not just getting yourself an individual come up, but making sure that your kid goes to a nice public school with a lot of black people and that their prom date also has a parent with a job. Like it's about community wealth. And that's the goal. And that's not going to happen by just trying to think the goal is an individual come up.
Like who really honestly wants that? Who wants to be?
Some people think they do and then they get it and then
And
they find out they're
realize
alone.
how
Miserable, alone, or surrounded by sharks.
Yeah. Like, I won't even lie. I lived in Woodstock back in the Bob Barr days. And the moment I realized I lived in a community where I could bump into Bob Barr, I immediately was like, I don't belong here.
I don't belong here.
Like, this is not for me.
It's for somebody else, and that's not me.
I walked into Target and saw Bob Barr, and I was like, oh, no. Where are the other black people?
No.
And I realized I was going through black people withdrawal. I needed to be back. Cartersville. I was in Cartersville for a year.
Right. They had a Klan rally while you were there.
Yeah, the first weekend I was up there, they had a Klan rally at the local Walmart and Lowe's. My brother worked at the Lowe's. He was the only black person working, and his management could not understand why he left. I was like,
we don't know how this ends.
Yeah, he was trying not to get strung up.
Yeah, we don't know how this ends. They might get excited. They're already at a Klan rally.
And I had to coach him for the HR meeting because he got written up. I was like, you walk right in there and you tell them I feared for my safety. No one here seemed to be concerned about it while this was happening outside.
They're all this like shelving stuff, and I'm like, there's a Klan rally. Yeah. There are people in hoods out that window
with big trucks flying Confederate flags in circles.
You should have a problem. I gotta go.
Yeah,
I gotta go.
That was the other quote. Someone, one of the viewers sent me a quote that said that if the white people who were against white supremacy had the power to end it, we wouldn't have white supremacy.
Right. Even white people are scared of white people.
Yeah.
Everybody knows white people are scared. Biggest terrorist group in the United States. White people. Everyone says, you can't say that on the show. Why not? Because they'll get you, which means they're terrorists, and I was right. Like, if they weren't terrorists, you wouldn't worry about me saying what I'm saying. But you know they're terrorists, you know they're punitive, and so you're worried about me because it's scary being me. My wife made me get life insurance after I started this show, and I'm insured.
Jane Elliott recently pointed out, she was like, my husband died 4 years ago. Let's go. She's like, I get death threats all the time for what I say. Yeah. My husband died 4 years ago. There ain't nothing for me here. Yeah. I will just keep saying it now.
Yeah. All right. So thank you for your time. Don't be a token. Encourage your other friends not to be tokens. Send this video to everybody you know because we went over a lot of stuff here. And tell your friends to donate to thefunkyacademic.com because I'd like to do this show for a while, but I need the money coming in. Thank you for your time. Peace.